Hi everybody, welcome back to God's Food and Miracle channel. So today we're going to need two ingredients. We're going to need hawthorn berries. Now I suggest that you use fresh hawthorn berries, or if you have dried ones, we can also use that. The only difference is that you're going to let the end product sit longer than 6 weeks, a lot longer. Okay, so let's just start off the bat. You're going to need hawthorn berries, and I already have mine in here. You can see the berries are already in there. I kind of got ahead of myself before I did the video. I was so excited. Hawthorn berry and honey. Now, I'm out of my local farmer's market honey, so unfortunately, it's not a bad brand, but I like to get my local honey. So those are the only two ingredients you're going to need. And when you have your hawthorn berries, I wish I had them fresh, but I don't have them fresh, and I have to find in my area. I live in Northern California, outside of San Francisco, Marin County, where I can get fresh hawthorn berries. And when I find it, I will make more of this product. So you just need the hawthorn berries, as you see here, and you need honey. Now, you can do different size jars. This is my apple cider vinegar. I'm just doing a little jar because I want to wait until I get the fresh ones, okay? And so if you have fresh hawthorn berries, you fill half the jar with the berries. Don't worry, we get some leaves in there. They're medicinal. The fresh hawthorn berries, they're about to fall off the tree now, mid-fall. They should be fresh but dried, if that makes sense. But don't worry, they just have a little bit of water content in it, and that's important because when you make this product, what will happen is there's going to be a little bit of fermentation going on. So don't freak out. We have a solution for that. So first, right off the bat, you got to buy your hawthorn berries, whether they're fresh or dried. You're going to do half the jar filled with hawthorn and half the jar filled with the honey. Let me just angle this down a little bit. Okay. Now, get your pencil and paper out and let's take some notes, okay? Because I want you to learn and become your own doctor. What is hawthorn berry good for? Well, when you think hawthorn berry, think of the heart. It's good for cardiovascular. It's also good for spiritually, for grief and sorrow. Well, just think about the berry. It's red like a heart, okay? And it has many medicinal properties for cardiovascular, blood pressure, just very, very good for cardiovascular health. So a lot of people are on heart medication. Now, I'm not giving you any medical advice. I'm just giving you information. And if you choose to try something, always let your doctor know, especially if you're on medications. But you can take it, ask your doctor if you're on medications. I want to take this hawthorn berry, and I'm taking medication, but I want to kind of monitor it. And if this is medicinal and it works for me, I'd rather get off my heart medication and take this. And once again, I'm not giving you medical advice. These are just questions that people have written into me at my doctor's office. What should I do? The first thing you need to do is always let your doctor know if you're adding something. If he says no, don't add it, go get a second opinion. And if that says no, then get a third opinion. You may want to see a naturopath that's familiar with medicine and foods, okay? Just face it, folks. Medical doctors don't have any nutritional training, and that's not a secret unless they've gone off on their own. So you want to find a naturopath or somebody that can be local with you if you're on the medications to help you. Okay, so it's good for, it comes from apples. The hawthorn berry, it comes from apples. It's in the family of apples. So once again, food is medicine. Food is medicinal. So we have to make sure if you're taking any kind of medications that you know that they can work together. And also if you're on medications and you're taking the natural food, the whole goal is to get you off of that, right? So just wanted to have that, throw that in there. All right, so it's pretty simple. You just get a jar, whatever size you want. I mean, you can even get, I have my apple cider vinegar jars over here, but look, I've got big jars, I've got this size jar, whatever you want to do. You can just make one big batch. You can make one like this and then just have it. If you keep it in the, if you keep this end product in the refrigerator, you can use it all year long, right? And how do you use this is, well, it's a honey. So when we're done, when this is done, you're going to strain out the Hawthorn berries and you're going to keep the honey, okay? And then you put a tablespoon of honey in your tea once a day. That's all, that's how you use it medicinally. Okay, so let's just go over everything I just mentioned. So the first thing you're going to need is a jar of your size, big one, middle, small. You're going to fill half the berries up in the jar, and then the other half you're going to put in the honey. All right. Now, you can, if you use, then you're going to let that sit for 6 weeks. Okay. Now, some people are going to say, well, there's water. If you're using fresh Hawthorn berry, okay, there's some water in there because it's not completely dried. So what you're going to have to do daily is you're going to have to come walk by or every other day and push down, and you'll hear a click, 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 click. That's the decompression. That's the compression part of it, because we don't want it to ferment, and we want the we don't want it to ferment, and we want to kill the yeast that's growing in there. So the way you do that is you just simply walk by every other day. You go dock, 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 and if that doesn't do it, then you just simply untwist your thing. You'll hear shoo, right, letting the air out, and then you can just let the air out and then let it back in. Okay. Now, that is for the fresh Hawthorn berries. If you have, and then you let it sit 6 weeks. Now, if you have dried Hawthorn berries, which I had happen laying around the house, if you use dried, you're going to do the same thing. Fill it up half with honey. But do you need to decompress it and all of that? I would still continue to make sure that you're decompressing it. Although they're dry, there shouldn't be any water, but you want to keep your eye on those things. All right. Very important, because you don't want fermentation process to happen. So if they're dried, then you let sit for at least minimum 8 weeks. I'll probably do mine for 10 weeks. Okay. So I'm looking at 2 months. So October, November, December. First of the year, mid-January. And then you're going to, when it's done, you're just going to strain it, and then you're going to have keep it in the refrigerator to prevent any fermentation. Now, if you're just doing this for home use, keep it in the refrigerator. If it's fresh, keep it in the refrigerator, because you don't want it to ferment. Some people stick the honey in the closet, which is kind of funky. But if it's fresh berries you started with, and then you did the process of the decompression, letting the air out or undoing it every other day for 6 weeks, then you would just stick that in the refrigerator. But if you're selling it on the market, like I think this is going to be a product I'll sell on the market once I find a good source of the Hawthorn berries locally, then you're going to put it, when you're done with it, you put it in the oven like 175, 200 degrees. And you got to be careful, 170 to 200 Fahrenheit, and because you want to kill the yeast, but you don't want it to blow up or anything. You could also put it in a, what do you call those things? Crock pot to do that, to boil it, to remove any fermentation that's in there. But if you're selling it on the market to people, you don't know if they're going to keep it in the refrigerator. I know I'll keep mine in the refrigerator. So that's just kind of information for you. So I hope you took some notes, and you can rewatch the video. I jumble around sometime, but I'm so excited. Many people are on heart medication. Many people have high blood pressure. Many people have cardiovascular issues due to stress. Okay, so I hope you found this helpful, and God loves you. I love you. And have a great day. Share, if you can, share the video and subscribe. I am a doctor that is now a farmer doctor. I teach people online instead of one-to-one. But if you have any questions or anything like that, be sure to email me. Thank you so much. Take care.